Join Samantha and Hans at the next Macro to Micro Options Power Hour held each Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Registration is free. Scan this QR code or click on the link in the description.
We've talked about this week after week after week. We always pick up a new theme. Last week, my theme was, I think it's a sucker's rally, although I'm still bullish. I can't, we've done nothing wrong yet. It's just, that's trader's instinct. That worked surprisingly. And then we're right back into this rotation into cloud. But I do want to show some themes that are definitely working because we've been talking about it as well. Gold is still doing awesome. So let me just show you what I mean by that. Okay, for those who play continuous contract, that's over here. I happen to put it next to the dollar yen because I'm actually right now in this basket trade of higher bonds, yen and gold. We talked about that. It's not always tightly correlated, but sometimes it really is. And then this is an example where I'm looking at a one-day chart of continuous contract, and I'm looking at a monthly ratio of my silver gold. And this has been the reason why I have been, the backdrop of gold has been very, very bullish. So, and for all the macro reasons, you've got to read my big, deep dives. So we're not going to get into that here. But the reason I kind of put that out there is because gold itself, the paper GLD, let me just show you this, was one that we talked about a month ago. And then I said, silver's not ready, but if it stays above 27, and then last week I'm like, it needs to stay above 37. This was one that had formed a bullish engulfing, right? After all this right here, warning, before Trump came in on October 29th, and that rotation to Bitcoin, kind of stole some of the thunder. Anyway, we've been in a chop fest on the daily. I couldn't trade this on a daily if I wanted to, but on a weekly, it's beautiful. It is a gorgeous trend. We had a pullback, this is true, but this is also into Trump and all that Bitcoin nonsense. But anyway, the point is right here on the 6th, I was like, this is gorgeous. This is a bullish engulfing. Looks like we want to break higher, technically speaking. We got some good reasons for it on a macro front. Point is, we definitely followed through. I said it had to stay above 145, and then it gapped up. Wicked bullish. Now, it's really doing well, and it's taking out, or soon, it's trying, even though it's getting a little chased, it's trying to take out the highs. So that's something for GLD that's been in place for a month, right on that bullish engulfing. Silver, we talked about last week. I said it's trying to base. Now it has to stay above, right? It was 27.17, then it was 28. Now it's pushing higher. And then I had two in particular miners that I really like that are also doing extremely well. So here's silver. And this is a situation where we talked about this because gold, the GLD was cheap. They were cheap. Silver is like, it's the difficult child, right? You got the golden child and you got the wild child, and gold is, anyway, easy and silver is not. So this is basically what I'm talking about. It's trying. It is trying, but it's also trying a lot of people's patience. So what is easier sometimes is look for the stocks that are breaking out, right? Like the GLD, come in after it's digested and then buy those cheap calls that we talked about. Now it needs to really go into some, call spreads. AEM is one that has been recommended for a long time once gold started breaking out because it was a gorgeous trend. Digested, broke out, pullback was shallow, breakout. It is digesting, but look at this. And now it's breaking out higher. So pick your miners. I like these particular ones because they have done nothing wrong from a trend perspective. And that makes it easier to then go in, and all this nonsense I worry less about, right?
What about Newmont? Do you watch Newmont,
no,
Samantha?
I do not, because it's terribly run and they had awful, totally wicked, awful earnings, and a lot of institutions actually dumped it because it was so bad. This is one that's coming up from the bottom, and the only reason it's rising is because the underlying is rising. It's still underneath the 200. It has so much work to do. It's not my flavor. Like I said, I like stocks breaking out. I have to be very convinced of an oversold bottom fishing play like a BABA. And BABA is very different because it is ridiculously oversold. It is ridiculously left for dead. It is ridiculously undervalued. It's just ridiculous. So this is a whole different kind of macro trade. But long story short, the other reason gold and silver did well, and it wasn't Chinese New Year, although apparently there's a correlation with Chinese New Year and higher gold prices, it is because of the falling dollar and yields. That's very, very bullish precious metals. There also, right now, is a lot of more rumor, I can't prove it, because of the potential of expected Trump tariffs on precious metals even, that's causing London to kind of move or deliver gold, and then there's too little of it. So do you remember years and years ago, Real Vision used to run, and other people used to run, the real gold bugs would run these videos before YouTube was really a thing, about the fractional shares of gold and how we didn't have enough and it was going to bankrupt. It's back. So gold is getting bid up in the spot price as well because of that. And then this is under the radar, but clients know I'm diehard for this. And this is a trick that Jeffrey taught me in the last 2 years, is soft commodities trade really well as they move higher. Gold and silver move higher. It's usually soft commodities and then precious metals and then industrial metals if there is a durable inflation theme. Right now, you've seen what happened to egg prices. It's health related. It's bird flu, cocoa, beef, and now lettuce. Because of the California fires, believe it or not, it took out 70% of US supply of salad. DBA has maintained its strength. These are all the type of things that I'm looking at, from technical to intermarket to macro to fundamental. It's weird, but it's my thing. And then I layer on options. So for me, options then is this conversation when you said gold was cheap. And I'm like, yeah, and it's also really time to move higher. So this is the time to go in. Now that gold has run for a solid month, this is the time to get a little bit more, are we going to go parabolic on this, like Baba just did in a week? Or do you rotate this play by doing a call spread, selling? What do you do now? What if you're just getting into this? Clients who have missed this the past month and now are saying, I want some gold. What's your suggestion now that we talked about this the past few weeks? Those calls are no longer cheap.
Join Samantha and Hans at the next Macro to Micro Options Power Hour, held each Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Registration is free. Scan this QR code or click on the link in the description. Watch the full Options Macro to Micro Power Hour episode by clicking on the video here and subscribe to LaDucTrading YouTube channel for more content.